Good, beautiful morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, March the 15th, 2023. Today I have with me the energy of Master Jesus, who wants to talk about why humanity is suffering. I'm really excited about this because some of the things he's been saying to me this morning are pretty simple and easy to understand. And it's so important that you hear this for yourself and that you may take some of what he's about to say to your heart and into your actions and into your daily life. It's funny, I was thinking, oh, maybe he's going to talk about the 10 Commandments. He said, no. He said, that may be just one small aspect of it. He said, but the most important reason as for why humanity is suffering, the reason humanity is suffering is because there is corruption in those who are leading. There is corruption in the hearts and minds of those who are leading. And it made perfect sense to me when he said that. He said leadership was designed to epitomize God, the function of righteousness, the function of love, the function of compassiousness, the functions of innovativeness. I was surprised when he said innovativeness, playfulness. But he kept underscoring the word responsibility. And I asked him why he kept underscoring that word, and he said quite simply, responsibility for one's life is the most sacred of duties. How you treat your flesh, and how you treat your mind, and how you speak, these things, and how you eat. These things, of all things, are most important, and there are far too many of you that have given your responsibility away to those who do not deserve it. But you must assume authority for that now. It is time to assume authority over your life again. Your body is a sacred temple and an instrument through which I live. If you understand these words, then there's not something you can ignore that easily. The corruption that you see in the world today is because you have given up responsibility of your life. Many of you cannot even grow food for yourselves anymore. You are wholly dependent upon others, most of you, for this. And those of you that know the value of growing your own food understand the value of responsibility. Your responsibility over the mother. I want to just correct. When he says mother, he's talking about literally the earth as the mother and the light as the father. And that really blew my mind. The earth is our mother and the light as our father. This place of responsibility can still be reclaimed. But you've been taught to believe that there are others who are better at taking care of yourself than you are. And now there is corruption because of your denial. There is corruption because of your denial of responsibility. And those that would be so corrupted would not be so corrupted were you not placing the responsibility of your life upon them. You were given your life to ennoble it and take care of it, to honor it and cherish it in all of its wonder. Your body, your mind, your soul, such cherished blessings you have. And yet you would trample upon it with your ignorance and your neglect. And the simple act that you cannot even grow your own food, that you are so wholly dependent upon others. You have surrendered what was given to you. You have surrendered what was given to you. And now you see suffering. And there is only suffering where there is corruption. And corruption is the unwillingness to observe the truth and to live and function from love. If you understand what is being said, then it would be cause for reflection to look at yourself. Are you in honor? Are you in truth? Are you in expressions of the wisdom of your light and your love? You will find that things will get easier far faster than they can get worse if you but begin to step back and take responsibility over your life. Not all can do this or are willing to do this, and those who are unwilling to be responsible, they will suffer. And those who are unwilling to understand their responsibilities will suffer. It's funny, he had me pull up the 10 Commandments this morning, and I haven't looked at the 10 Commandments in gosh knows how long. But he asked me to pull them up. And I did. I pulled them up and I looked at them. And they're not in the same order that I remember as a young child in Sunday school. They're not in the same order from what I read. But he said, all of these commandments are useless if you have no love, if you have no responsibility. He said they're synonymous. Love and responsibility are synonymous. And love will never do you harm, ever. Do not be deceived. Love will never do you harm. Now, some of the corruptions he was talking about in terms of functional corruptions, I was curious. I asked him, what are some of these corruptions you're telling me about? And he said, those that have responsibility, have assumed responsibility over others, should not be assuming responsibility over them, but has the responsibility to empower and encourage others. The ones you have responsibility over, encourage them to stand, to grow, to love, to be responsible. The duty of leaders is to teach responsibility. And this would include your parents, your so-called teachers, your political leaders, your healers. In the simplest terms, it's just those. Your parents, your leaders, your healers, and your teachers. There are only those four. And the responsibility is to encourage responsibility, not to take upon yourself to believe that you can resolve or ameliorate another's suffering if they do not wish to take responsibility for it. You can already see the result of this in your so-called health systems, where there is very little responsibility given, very little instruction in responsibility given. It has now become but an orgy of money and greed that tramples over the soul of humanity faster than any great army in all of history. The responsibility a healer has is to empower one to heal, not to act as if you are some god or divine entity. A healer empowers others to heal, to do what is right and good and true and just, to live from the function of love and not the function of fear. And you suffer because of these reasons: corruption and the unwillingness to take responsibility. Even the basic things many of you choose to ignore, what you should eat and what you should drink. Many of you do not even consider this. You think that merely putting food in your divine temple is sufficient enough? You would throw dirt in your mouth and call it delicious. And many of you do this. Your function of responsibility must become very conscious. You must become very conscious. There are very few of you that can even create your own food with the help of the mother. Very few of you can plant or till the lands. You've given up your responsibility over your own welfare. So many of you. And this is corruption. To deny responsibility over your life is corruption. To defer that responsibility to others is corruption. For others that are in positions of responsibility, to deny teaching you responsibility, this is corruption. And you suffer because of your corruption. Your unwillingness to understand your responsibility for the life that is given to you to honor, to cherish, to delight in. Do not mistake the joys of physical pleasure for the righteousness of love. They are very different. The pleasure of your senses is significantly different than the function of love, which would give you far greater pleasure than the senses could ever hope to give you, and would bring you closer to God. Love will bring you closer to God. Responsibility will bring you closer to God. Compassion and kindness and truthfulness will bring you closer to God. And yet you would seek the resolution of your suffering from men. And of course, your suffering increases as you deny responsibility for your life. But the very act of ignoring what your body needs, the very act of thinking crazy thinking, these things keep you in suffering. There will be no suffering where there is love. There will be no suffering where there is love. There can be no suffering where there is love. For where there is love, there is truth. And where there is truth, there is responsibility. And responsibility liberates you from suffering. Yes, there may be those that would harm you for their own gain. And there will be those that will look down upon you with disdain because you may be different. But they are not to be the judge over your character. Let your responsibility, let the function of your love define your character. Let your compassion define your character. Let your teaching define your character, that you would teach or heal or instruct others to be all they may possibly be. Not to encourage them into a definition of self that would cause them to deny who they are, but to bring them closer to who they are truly. This is much preferable and will cause you no harm. Love will do no harm to any of you. You must understand these words and hear them in your heart. You cannot grow your own food. Many of you have lost the ability to create naturally from your own talents. You all have great talents within you. Great in the sense that it is your talent. It is not so important that your talent be great when compared to another, but that your talent be great through you. Whether you are a mother or a father, a painter, a builder, a healer, a teacher, be one that is very good and that you delight in what you do and what you be, that you truly delight in it. For if you are living from love, there will be no suffering. There can be no suffering from love. Please understand this. As you come to the realization that this is true, and you begin to ennoble your responsibilities, to hold sacred your uniqueness, discover your love as an expression of your being, and then to live that, because that is your responsibility, to live to the fullest that which you came here to be. It does not have to be as good or better or less or more. There is no other such thing to others. You cannot compare yourself to others, but you can ennoble what you are. Your speech, your words, your actions, let them come from love. If you consider seriously enough what love is as a function of your being, if you consider this, what your love is as a function of your being, in words, in actions, then your suffering will come to a conclusion quite quickly in terms of your experiential living. But you must start down that road eventually, or your suffering will simply continue to increase. If you continue to deny responsibility, there will be further suffering. But love is the enactment of compassion and kindness and creativity and playfulness and understanding and perseverance. Love has very specific functions of being than does your personality, the beliefs you've been given by this world, which cause you to suffer, which cause you to defer your responsibility to others. And you have many great teachers upon the planet right now, by all accounts, that can guide you to be responsible, that can lead you back to your expression of who you are as a spiritual consciousness living from a state of divinity, a state of love. Seek out these teachers, find them, that would say to you, get up and do this. You must be responsible. You must be healthy. You must be vibrant. You must be strong. You must learn to do these things. Listen to those that would encourage you to pick up your cross and carry it forward. That is the cross, your responsibility over the temple. When you look in the mirror and you feel dismayed at what you see, then find a way to honor the temple. Fill it with treasures. Fill it with treasures. Yes, that is to put the proper food and nutrition in your body. Fill your temple with treasures. I love that. Thank you. Like really, fill your body with treasures, living food, live food. Learn to grow food. Learn to grow food again, because most of the food that people are getting isn't of your own choosing. It just tastes good, right? McDonald's tastes good, right? Just tastes good. Do you know what's in it? Do you know what comes up out of the earth when you plant a seed? I've been fortunate enough to have done organic gardening for a number of years, and the wonder of watching a seed go in the ground and come up, and the substance of soil and earth gets transmuted into this incredible living thing that you can consume and brings more life into our bodies. And what he's saying is really sound, and we need to listen to this. Responsibility is a function of love. He's also saying that love can also be a function of responsibility. The two are synonymous, love and responsibility. I think it's really important that you understand, that we all understand, that love will do no harm, ever. This is the most important thing he's saying today. I'm so grateful that love will never do harm to you or anybody. Real love. Love that's meaningful will never do harm. And if you are living in love, you will do no harm to your body. You'll do no harm to others if you are living in love. If you are not living in love, then you are suffering, and you will give that suffering to others. Because we know, yes, but the fruit. He says the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, right? So if you're living from love, then what will come out from you and what will be around you will tend to reflect that. I'm looking at the world now, and I'm seeing this orgy of greed happening throughout the political world on this planet. It's an orgy of greed. It's not love. And that orgy of greed is a reflection of the people that these so-called leaders are serving, are a reflection of the people that don't want to take responsibility for themselves. We have to start taking responsibility for this beautiful divine temple that you're in right now. You're hearing these words through, please. Look at your beautiful temple, that body. There will never be another body like the one you're in right now, ever. And it was given to you to honor as a sacred instrument of the living God, right? Yes, I know. And a lot of people, he says, a lot of people mistake the concept of the living God as something that's outside of what you are. But no, it is within you. It is within you. It is within you, the living God. And what do you bring to it every day? What do you bring to the divine in your body every day? Do you bring it beautiful water and sunshine and food? What do you bring into your house to offer the God in you? What do you do to do that, right? Yeah. That's one step of responsibility, to honor the temple of the living God. The living God isn't in some freaking brick and mortar building, not in a church or a physical temple. It's not in the ashrams. It's not in the synagogues. It's in you right now. It's not anywhere else. And what do you bring in prayer to it? And prayer is about going inside and saying, hey, I'm here. I love you. Thank you for giving me this wonderful life. And it can be easy to be saying these words. I understand this, because believe me, there have been times in my life where I was saying, I just want to say, F you, divine, because I was suffering, right? And you have to restore yourself to love. And I look back and I say, thank you, divine, every moment of my past. And I've done some pretty horrible things in my lifetime and mistreated my body and mistreated others because of my ignorance, not being able to understand the function of what he's talking about today about being responsible. And it's so important, yes, it's so important that you come to an awareness of that. So if you're suffering and you've got a lot of stuff going on, it's not because there's anything wrong with you. Start where you can start. Like, yes. He says it's really important that you learn to listen to the voice of love. Turn your ears away from fear. Listen to the voice of love. There has been so much placed upon the altar of your mind that you cannot distinguish the good from the bad. Can I put that? I'm going to paraphrase what he's just said. So what comes into your mind from what you read in books, what you see on television, what people say to you, when you listen to these things, this is like letting this information come into your temple. And the living God inside receives that. It's just the only way I can explain what I'm feeling energetically from him in a way that hopefully at least one of you can understand, that you realize how valuable and important your life is. And that you did not get put here by accident or chance. But I will say this again. Yes, I will say this again. Love will never cause you to suffer, ever. Ever. Nor will responsibility. There might be setbacks and drawbacks, but ultimately it leads you to freedom. So that place of what you hear from other people, radio, television, all these things that come into your temple. And they become an offering for the divine within you. These are words that I cannot, the only way I can put these words that you can understand. And what you should eat and what you should drink. These are offerings to the living God that keeps your body alive all the time. And it says to us every time, he said, hey, You can do whatever you want to that body, and you will reap what you sow. The effects of your own causes cannot be outrun. I love that. The effects of your causes cannot be outrun. They will be measured by what you measure yourself to be every day. So to the degree and extent that you really love your body and you love your mind and you only allow goodness, you focus on doing your life. Whether you're a painter or they keep telling me this last week that most medical, what they call doctors, came into this world to be healers, not to be pill pushers and they came to be healers, and they got distorted into profit, into greed, and the suffering increases. Love will never increase suffering. And you're not going to hear too many different ideas in this channel, because the only function that our guides and our angels, the ascended masters, Master Jesus, all of them have, is to teach us to be responsible through the function of love. It's that simple, to be responsible through the function of love. And if you can begin to get a handle on your own value, that the thoughts in your mind are not who you are. Most of the thoughts in your mind aren't even yours. Most of the thoughts in your mind were given to you by television, radio, school. And you've got to step outside of what the world has told you to think and start to think for yourself, to generate thoughts that make you noble. A simple thought, one of the beautiful thoughts, that you are loving and lovable. Think about that. You are loving and lovable. Think about that thought and how it makes you feel. Versus, I can't do anything right. See how that thought makes you feel. Your thoughts, when you give attention to a thought, it's an offering to creation. Yes. And you must understand that what you think is an offering. It's an offering to creation, to the divine, to God, whatever you want to call it. This great spirit, whatever you think. So be very mindful of what you're going to give attention to. He wants just to reiterate that you must understand that all suffering is because of corruption, and corruption is because there is no responsibility. And there is no responsibility because you are not choosing to love. You must learn to choose love as your function. You must choose the function of love, which is your true nature. But you are free to choose suffering. He says a lot of people have suffered for many lifetimes. They repeat the same cycle of suffering over and over and over again. But it's coming to an end now. It's coming to an end. I want to thank you for being present with us today. Yeah. Let's get into some questions here. Hi, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. So I'm honored and privileged. When he came to me this morning, he said that the only reason humanity is suffering is because of corruption, and corruption is because we're not living from love and responsibility. I mean, these concepts are very simple and not complex. If I try to define responsibility, it's basically what he's saying: honor the temple. What you eat, what you drink, what you think, what you say, what you do. It's really simple. They can only come from two places: your love or your fear. And until you start evaluating the contents of your mind and turn your attention away from those who would have you live in fear, the fear will increase. Do not be a contributor to human suffering. Be a contributor to human enlightenment. You are fundamentally, whoever's listening to this, fundamentally, there is nothing wrong with you. In truth, there's really nothing wrong with you. You just need to understand how to change your mind. That is, to change what has been given to you by the world that is false, that is not in alignment with love. And then to honor the physical body. And it really comes down to being that fundamentally simple. Because I'll tell you something, if you get up right now and you say, am I getting up in a way that's a loving way to get up, or am I getting up in fear? Are you walking with fear? Are you doing your household chores with fear? Are you at work right now, and are you doing your work with love or fear? Are you enjoying what you're doing? Are you putting love into what you do? Even if you're doing a job you think you don't like, try doing it with love. I was given that test to do, 4.5 years ago, when they told me, they said, you cannot leave the job you're in until you can do the job you're in that you so-called don't like with love, and only love at all times while you're there. That let love become your function. I did. I spent 6 months doing everything from interacting with department heads to sweeping floors or cleaning washrooms. And I did it all with love. And it was very difficult in the beginning. It got easier and easier and easier. Wherever you are, start doing it with love. Be conscious of it, though. You have to do it consciously. You have to be conscious. And is this word I'm going to say love? Because the moment you start doing that, all of you, I don't care if you're a BLM member or Antifa or the Republican or liberal or conservative or whatever you are, elemental PQR, doesn't matter. Whatever you are, ask yourself this question. Are the words you're saying coming from love or fear? Are the acts you're doing coming from love or fear? Are the acts and thoughts and actions you're doing towards yourself coming from love or fear? It's really easy. It starts to get really easy because you start to see, you start to hear, you start to know, and you'll start to change, and you start to grow, and you'll start to evolve when you do not let a word come out of your mouth that is not based in love or truth. And yes, he also wants to say, you must understand that the function of truth may appear harsh to those that live in fear. Be mindful of this, for if there are others that would challenge your fears with love, listen carefully before you judge them. Listen carefully before you judge them. For the appearance of the truth can seem harsh to those that do not live in love. If you understand what I'm saying, then you'll understand that truth will do no harm, as equally as love will do no harm. But whether you are willing to surrender yourself, surrender your fear, is the question. There are many of you that are like holding on to your anger and holding on to your fear in hopes that it will alleviate your suffering. You get angry at others, you attack them, and you hope that by doing this somehow you will be liberated from your suffering, and you are still not liberated from your suffering. In fact, it has increased upon this planet significantly. It has increased significantly, not because you want your suffering to increase, but because you do not understand how you are contributing to it in the words and actions that you perform towards others and towards your own divine instrument. And I say this to you one more time, love will never do harm. Truth will never do harm. Compassion will never do harm. And you shall know those who live from love and those who live from fear, those who serve from love and those who serve from fear. You shall know them. For those that live from love, you will see great joy around them and those around them. And those who live from fear, you will see suffering around them. Look in your great cities where the greatest of suffering is, and you will see that the leaders there do not live from love. They live from fear. They do not live from responsibility. They live from greed. They do not live from compassion. They live from control. And your suffering will increase if you choose to deny the truth. So this place, anyway, let's get into some Q&A. This place is so important for us to get to, this place of love. And again, he wants, so just understand that just because you're hearing physical words and the structure of words, he says, in the vibration of the words that are given to you that can hear, you will hear. And those that have eyes to see will see. You must understand that it is not just what you hear with your ears that must be heard, but what you hear and feel with your heart. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Thank you. Can you imagine, waking up every morning and knowing that love is in you? Like you can learn that. Everybody needs to learn this and remember this, that fundamentally your nature is that you are love. It's what you are. You were born as love, and the world has presented information and corrupted you. Hi, guys. Good morning. Yeah, lots of great comments and input from everybody here on TikTok and YouTube. So someone's asking on TikTok, yes, my father passed. My father's passed. My mom is not well. I'll take any message you have. He's standing beside her right now. He's like watching. Think of your dad as a watcher for your mom right now. He's like, right. If you close your eyes and just sense the energy to your mother's, it'll be to your, depending on if you're looking at your mother, but it's on your mother's left side. You can feel the energy of his presence there. Your father's presence, your biological father's presence, the energy of his presence, the energy of the guides and angels that are with your mother. When she's ready to invite them in, they'll come. She can just invite them in and say, I open up to love. Just tell her that statement. Tell your mom that right now, that she opens up to receiving love. Just tell your mom to do that. Open up to receiving love. She'll receive it from her spouse, who's your biological father, energy. You got to understand, the word death needs to be removed from the English language, and the word dying needs to be removed from the English language. It needs to be changed to the word transitioning. That is, you're moving in consciousness from a biological state to a non-physical state. Right? Very important to understand that. And yes, your dad is showing me tears of gratitude that you are working with your mother through this. It's like tears of gratitude for you. Wow, it's so beautiful. Thank you. Missing my grandma a lot recently. Would you have a message from her? You're getting a message from her. Please understand, when you start, people that leave the physical dimension, okay, and we'll use this example often. Let's say I have here, we'll call these radio sets, okay? This is a radio set, and this is a radio set, and they're both playing. There's different radio sets. They look different. This is maybe a Model A and Model B radio set, and they're both tuned into a station, and we hear the music coming out of that station. And all of a sudden, I drop one, and it breaks, and it's no longer playing that station, but the other one is still playing the station. So the vessel, the vehicle, the radio is not the signal. The signal is something that comes through the device. Your body is not who you are. It's the device you use to learn and grow consciously through in this physical dimension. And when you find yourself thinking about loved ones that have passed, like understand, they're with you so much more than you realize. Especially if you're missing them a lot, it's because they're trying to get you to listen to them. Sit down. Take a deep breath, relax, and don't try to look for her, but feel her. She doesn't have a physical body. On occasion, a soul can manifest an apparition of their body. They can have enough awareness and knowledge to do that. But in general, most souls, when they leave the body, have not developed the capability, that level of authority over energy to manifest themselves, but they can energetically transmit a vibration as a feeling or a sensation to you. So please, sit down with her right now and feel her energy. You're going to feel a sense of peace. That's what she wants you to feel, the sense of peace at knowing that life is everlasting. Life is everlasting. Please do that. Like sit down and feel her with you right now. Like she's, so any of you, if you're feeling, thinking about somebody that's not in their body anymore, it's because they're trying to connect to you. They're trying to connect to you. And if you pause in those moments, if you pause just for a moment, when their name comes into your mind. Now for me, when my biological father comes around, I get this craving for a beer. I don't drink, but I get, whenever he comes around, his way of communicating to me that he's around is I get this urge for a beer, right? So I know my dad's energetically present with me. And they'll have different ways of connecting with you. And again, in our Masterclass series, we teach people how to learn to connect to non-physical beings, whether they're angels, guides, ascended masters. You can learn to do that. You can train your awareness to become sensitive to that. but you're never alone. So please understand that she's really been trying to get you to listen to her. That's why you keep thinking about her so much. Right? She keeps knocking on the door, and you got to answer. Anything again? This is not a dog and pony show. This is a program to bring information to each and every one of you to liberate yourself from suffering and to return your life to love. Because I'll tell you what Master Jesus was saying earlier, love will never do harm. When you start to express as love, your life is going to change. It'll be a wonderful, magical journey when you start functioning in thoughts and words and actions from love. Incredible things start to happen to you, right? And there's a road to that. I don't know why, but I'm seeing as far as the coins are concerned, I'm seeing a black toolbox. I'm just seeing a black toolbox. I don't know why. That's what I'm seeing. That doesn't mean that it is a black toolbox. That's the way I'm interpreting the vibration that's being transmitted to me in regards to that. The process of mediumship is not you're just suddenly able to see everything. It's a process of learning and rearticulation. You've got to learn to become differentiated from your own biases and prejudices and allow information to come in as best you can allow it to come in. And as you do it more and more, it gets better and better and better. Anybody can become a medium. They just got to learn the skills, the method of doing it. So happy to hear that. Oh, you're very welcome. I had to do that. Look over on YouTube. Who gave me a super chat? Somebody gave me a super chat here. Where is it? Bogumilla gave me a super chat on YouTube. Hey, Bogumilla, thank you so much. I dream that my father, Florian, will reincarnate as soon as a woman. Is that true? Yes, but he's in for his higher self is telling me that the personality is going to be in for quite a surprise. Yes, it's important he does this. It's time to see the other side so that he can, yes, he wants to really understand what he can, yes. Yes. So the reason he's doing this, so he gets a full understanding of the other side to erase the mistakes. To erase the mistakes. And he says he wants to experience the love that he didn't give. I don't know why he's saying that, but he's saying he wants to experience the love that he didn't give. Again, I don't know what that means for you, but please, Bogumilla, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know what that is. I'm just going to go through the list here. We've got a lot of questions there, guys. Remember, if you're new to my channel, please remember to like, subscribe, or follow, depending whether or not you're on YouTube. On YouTube, for those of you on TikTok and Facebook, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch all of the channeling sessions that have been done over the last 4.5 years on my channel. You can go and review them. And remember, if you watch any videos, like it, subscribe to the channel. It won't cost you a dime. And it helps the channel grow and evolve and gets this information out to humanity. We're at a time of ascension. And in Christian mythology, they call it the end times. And it doesn't mean that it's the end of times. It means it's the end of bullshit. It means it's the end of living in darkness and suffering, and the time for the restoration of love. And we can do this by choice, or it will just happen, because the function of fear will cause everybody to suffer. The function of love will cause everybody to celebrate and be happy and be responsible and loving. Got a question from hang on, I'm just going to see if I can find this question somewhere in here. Super chat from Luz de Luna. Make sure I got through that one. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, you're going to cross, by the way, you're going to cross paths with the soul that was your father in his female body. But again, the soul becomes male or female the minute it enters a body. It becomes a male or a female expression physically, right? The soul comes into a male or female body because that's what it learns from. It learns from experiencing the opposites, right? A lot of people don't want to learn the lesson. A lot of people come into a male body and go, I don't like this. I want to get out of this. I don't like this experience. I'm going to change it. No, the whole point is you came in to experience it and learn to love the process of creation. So Luz de Luna on YouTube, thank you for the super chat. I sent a picture of my niece and nephew to a friend. We used to be close. She never replied. A day later, I dreamed that she was rushing past me like a train station. I tried to show the picture. Okay, I'm being asked to do this with you, Luz. So just put your hand over your physical heart, and tune your attention to the friend. Like literally, tune your attention to the friend. And think these words to her. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of my life. Do this very gently, slowly, and meaningfully. Hold her in your thoughts. Thank you for being a part of my life. And do this several times. And after about the third or fourth time, it should feel a feeling of you've done it enough. Do it longer if you feel the need to do it longer, because that means it requires that much more attention for her to receive, because there's some resistance there. She doesn't know how to let go of the resistance. So the transmission of your love will release or reduce that resistance, right? The transmission of love, I love that. The transmission of love will reduce your resistance and hers. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's go up here. Hi, Melody saying here on YouTube, I feel the breakthroughs and bliss, and then I learn how much more I have to understand. I'm grateful for the humble experience that I can transmute into love. That's beautiful. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Christopher, for I want to say thank you to Christopher and the other two moderators, Drusilla, for the work you guys do, because I can't monitor everything. And even if we get really bad questions and people are angry and upset or they're fearful, we don't like to dismiss those people so easily, because people that will attack you are calling for love. They are in fear. They are in pain, right? And so if you're angry or you think we're talking to demons or we're doing something evil, that's okay. I understand you're coming from fear. You're not coming from love. But I will say this, there are high vibrational beings and there are low vibrational beings. Every religion talks about good and evil, right and wrong. And that's true on all planes of consciousness. On all planes of consciousness, it is true. There is good and there is evil. There's love and there's fear. And so, yes, there are entities that are non-physical that are very low and dark. And there are entities that are very high and loving in vibration. What do you think Jesus is? Jesus is a loving being. He ascended to a higher frequency of consciousness. Some call that place heaven. But this function of the difference between love and fear is the difference between what one entity is or what another is. Humans can be good and bad. Spirits can be good and bad. And you align yourself to the ones that are energetically most like you. And you have no choice about that. Thanks for that sentiment. Question from Barbara. My friend is going through a hard time. Please send some guidance from Marius. I will forward this message to him. Wow. Tell him to release his despair. He has to release his despair. He keeps it in his head, in his thoughts. He holds his despair in his body with his thoughts. He has to release his despair. And he can do this in very simple ways. Even telling him to change his body posture will change the way the nervous system processes information. But this is what I'm being told. He has to release, yes, he has to release those thoughts and the emotions that are causing that. Yeah, despair is a place where you believe that you are somehow not what you are. Sadness and regret, being in a place where you feel suicidal, those places aren't places because there's something wrong with you. Those are places because you haven't learned how to generate thoughts and ideas of love. You've not learned to look in the mirror and appreciate and respect who you are as a beautiful being, as a sentient, wonderful being. Do not compare yourself to other people, because there is nobody else to compare yourself to. You are so unique and distinct in that body that you're hearing these words through. And if you can even feel the vibration of these words, that these words are true, that you in that body that you're in, the way that body is, you are unique and distinct in the cosmos of creation. And if you can just get a sense of that for even an instant and start to honor your uniqueness, just from that single awareness, you can begin to really respect and honor and appreciate your life again and who you are, and learn to alter and change the information in your mind, because you did not come here to suffer. Nobody came here to suffer. You came here to love. Suffering is a product of a lack of love. Question from Jackie. I've received an intuitive message that I have a tethered spinal cord and also a warning about my husband's health. Will medical intuition be a part of my journey as an energy healer? Yes, Jackie, but they're telling me you have to do. She has to develop it more. You must recognize the correlation between the function of healing and the nature of thought. This will become very critical to you in the coming months. You must understand the correlation between the function of thinking and thoughts and how they affect healing. Thoughts can heal and thoughts can harm. As for your yes, yeah, your husband's got some things to change. Yeah, he's getting distracted, and he's got to stop being distracted from things that aren't relevant to his function of love. This is all that happens to people. They just get distracted mostly by sensation. Most people are caught up in this thing tastes good and that thing tastes good, and oh, that feels nice, and people are lost, horribly lost in the sensation. The servant has become the master for so many people. Thank you so much for that question, Jackie. Let's switch over to TikTok here. What do you got here on? Hi, Brie Britt. Any message from my guides, please? Who are my guides? Again, learning to sit and become sensitive to the energy of those that are working with you, both physically and non-physically. And every great teacher, every great healer, every great mentor has never done so or doing so alone. Master Jesus uses what he calls God as his teacher and instructor, right? And other teachers, Leonardo da Vinci, right, had his guides and his angels that inspired him. Nikola Tesla, Joan of Arc, and you have guides and angels that you can learn to attune yourself to. But to attune yourself to them, you need to elevate your energy up, physically, mentally, and emotionally, from fear to love. You need to elevate your energy up, right? Elevate it up. Okay, I'm just scrolling through TikTok here. Hi, guys. I don't know why, but my tablet is running really slow on TikTok. Hi, Corey. Corey Von Sweet, saying, my friend passed away. Hang on. My friend passed away in my place, and I'm wondering if he has anything to say. The first words out of his mouth were, oops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's so funny. If you could hear the tone of voice that he gave that message to me, oops, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. There's no, he's saying, bear no weight for this. He's saying, don't take this on. Don't take this on. Souls do that. Sometimes we make irredeemable mistakes in a specific lifetime where we damage the body to a point where it can't function properly anymore. And that's, again, just ignorance and not understanding. But you'll do learn. He's learned the lesson. He understands the wrongness of the process that he did to get there, and it will be corrected. Yeah, we learn by trial and error. Even when you leave a body, you still learn from the experiences of that lifetime. Remember that. You still learn from the experiences of a lifetime. Thank you for that question, Corey. I really appreciate it. Stevie Jack says, will discussing my theory with my mother versus my situation with my daughter help or hinder? Yes, it the potential for both is there. And again, this is coming from a male energy that's saying it's important you understand that any communication in this regard is very sensitive to the child. It is important then to understand that all communication in this must originate from love and not fear or concern, but love. Let love be that which defines your speech and actions, and you shall find great joy emerge into your world. But let love define your speech and actions. Wow. It's, think before you speak, right? Like, I would say feel before you think or speak. Is what you're feeling love, or is it fear? Don't speak if you're angry. Don't speak if you're afraid. Pause and ask, what would love say? What would love do? What would love think? Right? Thank you for that question. Really love it, Stevie. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Miss Pendulum. That's I honor and respect you. But I want to say this too. If someone asks a question that we don't get to from this end, you're certainly free. Share your wisdom, share your love, share your knowledge. Please, if you're getting information and guidance that's based in love to assist others, then please, we will never hinder love in any of its expressions. So if you feel drawn to share the love and the light that you were drawn to share, then please do that, right? Because we can't get to everybody here as much as we'd like to. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. It's all good, Tiffany. Someone's asking, does the guy I went to contact even care? Good morning. Okay, for those of you looking for love, you've been living in a society, and this is why our politicians are so corrupt, why they're basically just stealing money from people. They're not taxing you, they're stealing, okay? Let's call it what it is. It's theft. Now, that being said, they've taught other people by example that this is what you do. You take what you want. You want your job, you want a partner, you want a relationship. First, make the one with yourself beautiful. Make the relationship within yourself beautiful. And then you will start to see the relationship that is equal to your own. Right? But if your body's unhealthy, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not doing things you need to do to be happy, then it's going to be really hard to attract a partner that loves you, wants to be in your life. If you're choosing to be with somebody because of what you might get from them, good luck with that. It's going to just end in suffering for somebody. Love gives. And it doesn't give in ignorance either. Love doesn't give in ignorance. Love doesn't tolerate ignorance. It doesn't tolerate deception. It doesn't tolerate dishonesty. Love knows the truth. So this one that you're referring to, again, if the love you are seeking is what you are seeking, then you are in error. If you are here to be an expression of love, then you will meet the expression of love in your life. Too many people trying to get love from somebody else, or get this from them and get that from them. No, it's about being love, living your function of love. We'll say the same thing as often as we can until those that need to hear, hear, and those that need to see, will see. Right? You did not come here to suffer. None of you did. Hey, Chris. Oh, what a beautiful thing. I'm just scrolling down here. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate what you're doing. Question on YouTube. My daughter, Rashan, is having a difficult time with her marriage, immigration, and cultural, emotional difficulties. Are there a message for her? Yes, she has to release the burden of her pain and the burden of her fear. How shall she do this? You want to know. All right. Love and gratitude are functions of thought and action. And I encourage you right now to tell your daughter these words, to release her fear, all of it, to get excited and happy about what she wants, to not be afraid that she's going to not get it. The minute you're afraid you're not going to get something, you're not going to get it. If you're afraid something's going to go wrong, something's going to go wrong. If you're like hopeful and desirous and excited and you remain in that energy, remain in it. It's like a chicken, you know, the chicken's egg? You take a chicken's egg and you put it in the nest, and it has to incubate for 28 days. And in 28 days, the chick will hatch if the egg is kept properly warm. And it's the same thing. If your daughter can stay in the delight and excitement of love and of possibilities, it will change. It doesn't mean that she'll remain and things will remain as the same, because when you change your energy, your life is going to change. You know, when you shift from being afraid to moving in love, your life is going to change. And sometimes those changes can appear quite unexpectedly and might cause you to go into fear. Stay away from fear. Stay true to your love. But yeah, tell your daughter to really go back into the feeling of love and remain there. Do not get seduced by fear. Do not get seduced by fear. And do not get seduced by anger. Do not get seduced by those things. Seduction, interesting concept, eh? Scrolling down here. Someone's asking, will the province of Ontario stop having snowstorms? Yes, in about another week. In about a week and a half, they'll be done. Right? There's the last couple of storms coming in the next week and a half. And again, I just have this knack. I just know weather. They tell me it's going to happen, right? Ask my wife; she'll tell you. I just know before it's going to happen. That's called claircognizance, by the way. How would love act? That's a great question. Remember that statement. How would love act? How would love speak? You see these protesters and these political parties and people sharing opinions, and they're screaming at each other. Yeah. That's not love. That's absolutely not love at all. Love doesn't attack. Love is open and understanding and compassionate. No, that's fear. That's terror. Somebody living in terror. I'm so sorry for all of you that are living in fear. You did not come here to live in fear. You did not come here to be angry. You did not come here to be manipulated or controlled. You came here to thrive, to be an expression of God's love through you, right? All of us did. All of us did that. Thank you so much for that. So Vertical Connection's asking, what entity shared the continuous wind-like energy by my forehead yesterday? That was Isis, the energy of the consciousness known as Isis, right? Because if you think in terms of personality, you're going to understand things one way. If you think in terms of consciousness, you'll understand things in a different way. Oh yes, where's the tablet there? Let's look over these guys here. Mijanu is asking, can I please get a message from my dad? I am really missing him right now. You're actually with him right now. Please understand, you're with him right now. Like, Mijanu, sit and feel him. Take a deep breath. Release the fear, release the anger, release the disappointment, release the pain, and just feel his presence with you. He's been trying to put his arms around you for a long time. And that's the arms in terms of energy. You feel his energy surround you like a warm blanket. But just release your fear and just feel his presence. Don't look for the body. The body's not in existence anymore. Just feel the presence of his energy. When you leave the body, you're non-physical. Please understand that. When you leave that body, you become a non-physical consciousness. When you're in the body, you can function through matter, time, and space. Look at this body. Body's just doing what I want to do. Wave the hands around, jump up and down. Your body functions as an instrument for your consciousness to express and learn and grow and experience through, right? Thank you so much, Vertical. Really appreciate the question. And Yeah, I really appreciate that question on TikTok. Thank you, guys. Bijanu. Um, Simi Claire is asking, am I making a mistake? If you're asking me personally, that's one thing. But if you want me to bring an answer through for you, that's something else. But I'm going to do both. Am I making a mistake staying in my relationship with my significant other? If you're having doubts in your relationship, it's really important that you ask yourself why you have those doubts, number one. And number two, to sit down with your significant other and ask him one question. What can we do to demonstrate more love? What can we say? Are these words we're saying love? Are we listening with love, or are we listening with judgment? Because sometimes somebody can be in a lot of pain, right? Your partner can be in a lot of pain or fear or upset or feel insecure, and they're weak in that area at that moment. And they're telling you about it, and you're feeling a little anxious about it, or you're this open energy field for them to just share their emotions with, and you feel it, and you say, I get it. I see you're in pain, and I see you're concerned, and I see your disappointment, and I love you anyway. Imagine that if you're angry or upset, and someone says, even though you're angry, even though you're upset, I love you anyway. Understanding and learning to live with somebody is literally a creation, and there's no guidebook given on it. But if you can begin to understand what you are, what is your function of love, what thoughts do you think that are love, what actions do you do that are love? If you understand that, then you'll understand your function of love, and that often ends up bringing into your life other people that function in love. Because if a person hasn't cultivated that skill set, they have to learn that, and you've got a choice. If you go into a relationship with somebody who's insecure, you want to make certain that that they're willing to learn to overcome their insecurities. Don't get into a relationship if the other person's not willing, and you consciously decide you're not just going into a relationship to live with somebody. You're going in a relationship to grow and learn and become your best selves with each other. That's what relationships are. They're instruments for self-improvement. They're, as Master Jesus says, they're teaching devices. Relationships are teaching devices. I love that. They're teaching devices. Yes. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I want to remind everybody, just forgot, coming up on April the 1st, we got our Masterclass Liberation, our 102 Masterclass called Liberation, coming up on the 1st of April. This is a program that will teach you how to liberate old thoughts, old memories, and old emotions out of your body and mind so they will not hinder you. It's a very simple and elegant program. It teaches the fundamentals of meditation, as well as it combines an element of teaching you how to eat properly. We have a wonderful instructor named Chico who runs a program called Sun Food Living that he has graciously been sharing with our program for the last 4 years. And he will show you how to actually change in a very simple and elegant way, how to put the right foods in your body. Additionally, throughout all the classes, there are a sequence of meditations, 3 hours, 2, 4, 6 to 8 hours a week of meditation and discussion. That is interspersed with our other instructors who assist you in other elements of your learning, how to sense energy, how to tap into your guides and angels in other ways. So I invite you to come out to the Masterclass 102 Liberation. It's a beautiful thing. Change your life. You're very welcome, Stevie. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. So grateful. You're all very beautiful. Thank you from Kamloops. Hi, Kamloops. It's nice to see people from around the world here. So Selena's asking, will I be in a romantic relationship with Carlos? Not with the uncertainty you have. The question you have to ask yourself, if there is uncertainty, why is there uncertainty? Most people base their changes on what was before. Most people make their choices based on their past. And they end up creating a past present. It's why people repeat things over and over and over again, because you use the past as the way of measuring things in the present. And the present is not the same ever. The present moment is not the same. And you can learn how to live in that. But if you let that doubt go, yes, Selena, if you totally release your doubt, that can come to pass. But be mindful if you release your doubt, then what will come to pass will be in harmony with what you feel. If you are in a state of love and grace, then love and grace will come to you as it is. If you're in a state of fear, it will come to you as it is. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Got time for 2 more questions. I'll take one from Facebook. Oh, somebody's saying, thank you so much for the wonderful message. I'm so thankful for you, your teachings, making clear what surrender is most important, how and why to live in love. Yes. Yes, thank you, Thelma. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll take one from YouTube. By the way, Facebook users that are watching this, you can also place questions, because the questions will show up on my screen here, so I can manage questions from Facebook and YouTube and TikTok the way we've got it set up at this time. Okay, I got one more question from. So Tiffany's asking, how does my girlfriend's mother feel about me possibly proposing to her daughter? The question is, how do you feel about proposing to your lover? How do you feel? If you concern yourself that others must feel the way you feel about what you want to do with your life, then you're going to have a very difficult life, because then you're dependent upon the opinions and beliefs of other people to validate what you're choosing. Stop it. How do you feel? Connect to that. How do you feel? How the mother feels is how the mother will feel. That is not your business. What other people think about what you think is none of your business. And how people believe about what you believe is none of your business. If you truly honor and love the truth of what you are saying, being, or doing, then you will not have any concerns about what others would think about it. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Wow. Wonderful morning. I'm so grateful for this life. Yes. Guys, I can't get to all your questions, but if you want to book a reading with me, go to my website, torontomedium.com or williammichaelforbes.com, and you can book a reading one-on-one with me, half-hour, 1-hour readings with me. And because there's just, all you get here is snapshots of what, when you ask a question, you get a question, but there's usually so much more information they want to give you beyond what you're hearing here. But I also hear the other side that they also say, but they're giving everything that they can give here too. Everything that is needed is given. Everything that is needed is given, and that is in divine order. I like what Master Jesus, about 9 months ago, when he came in and he said, debt is a violation of law. Debt is a violation of divine law. It blew my mind. Anyway, I want to wish you all much love. Thank you for coming out today. I will see you guys for the Friday Q&A. Hang on, I'm being told to answer one more question from Pamela on TikTok. Lung cancer is a recent diagnosis and experience. I'm so grateful to have found it early. Yes. Your body is a living temple. Every cell in your body hears what you think and feels the energy of those thoughts. Turn to that part that is what you call cancer. Turn to it and offer it your love. Be grateful for the presence of the life in your body, no matter how it appears. Your gratitude will elicit a different response from the cells than will your fear. Gratitude will elicit a different response from your cells than will fear. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. And Rainbow Warrior, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. And I want to wish you all much love. Again, I will see everybody on Q&A Friday. Have a good day, everybody. Bye for now.